Hitler. He only had von Braun. We can't do that, can we? We can't do that.
No, it's a little bit naughty. Don't know.
We should just do it because we're the punk rock podcast.
The Interplanetary Podcast. The exploration of space for the benefit of all mankind. Your hosts here in London, Matthew Russell and Jamie Franklin.
So, you know whose birthday it is today?
No.
It's George Russell's.
Oh, yes. It's only the voice of the podcast.
It's only the voice of the Interstellar podcast, his rivaled podcast that's going head to head with us, Jamie.
I'm not happy about this. I think you should have a word. It's a bit too good.
So it's George Russell's birthday, but it's also Wernher von Braun's.
I like the way you said that. Well, happy birthday to both of you, but especially G-Shock.
It's the Interplanetary Podcast.
Putting the ace back into space. Woo!
Woo.
So, two birthdays.
Yeah.
But the latter, quite an interesting / controversial chap.
Oh my gosh. So, Werner Magnus Maximilian Freiherr von Braun.
It's quite the name.
Yes. Born March 23rd, 1912.
On this very day.
Yeah, so he'd be 105 now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would be.
Ripe old age of 105. Born in Wrocław, which is now Wrocław in Poland. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, and you might have noticed the Freiherr, which is equivalent to Baron. So he was Baron von Braun. Werner Magnus Maximilian Baron von Braun. So yeah, I don't know if he flew any fighter jets and was a Red Baron, but I don't think he did.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh, but what a life. So I've been looking into von Braun's life.
Quite the life.
Quite
yes.
the life, isn't it? It's just ridiculous.
And, we'll talk about the controversy, but whatever happened there was actually quite a lot to counter.
Yeah,
you can counter it to a certain extent, and I don't think anyone knew the full extent.
No, but
there was a lot to say that he wasn't the biggest Nazi in the world.
No, but there's also a lot to say that he could have done a little bit more for his fellow humans.
That is standard. That is a given with this guy for sure. So where do we start?
Well, I guess is where did he get his passion for space? Well, it all started when his mother gave him a telescope.
Right.
Yeah, when he was a little boy, he got a telescope, and then as a 12-year-old. He got really inspired by Fritz von Opel of Opel cars fame.
So this will be the speed records.
Yeah. So and they had rocket-propelled cars, and so when he was a boy, he actually got arrested by the local police for trying to do the same thing with fireworks all over his toy wagon, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
And I guess like a lot of sort of landed gentry, he was a very keen amateur pianist who loved a bit of Beethoven and Bach.
Oh, yeah.
And he played cello as well, so he's quite an accomplished musician, and even wanted to be a composer at one point.
Wow, if you can do that for doing all right.
Von Braun then attended school, and he was pretty rubbish at physics and maths, but then someone gave him a book called By Rocket into Planetary Space, or Die Rockets zu den Planetariumen, 1923. Do you like how good my my German accent was then?
Well, yeah, it's pretty good.
It
is pretty good.
Is it as good as my American last week? But
definitely better.
I thought it was good in parts, my American. It was just drifting a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could change that to just say it was in parts.
So Hermann Oberth was, to many, considered the founding father of rocketry and astronautics.
I'd agree with that.
So he was a massive influence on von Braun. And so von Braun took it upon himself to become much, much better at science and much, much better at physics and maths, because he thought, well, I just want to become...
He's like, I need to do this.
I need to become a spaceflight guy. He joined the Spaceflight Society, or the VFR, the Raumschifffahrt, which was the inspiration of the BIS, if you remember our episode a few months back. Yeah, so that was one of the big inspirations, and founder of the BIS went over and visited the VFR. He met his friend there, Willie Lay.
Willie Lay is possibly the best name we've ever read out on this podcast.
Oh, no, absolutely. Willie Lay. And they started building liquid-fueled motor rockets.
As you do.
Inspired, obviously, by Goddard himself. This is what von Braun had to say about Hermann Oberth. He goes, Hermann Oberth was the first who, when thinking about the possibility of spaceships, grabbed a slide rule and presented mathematically and analysed concepts and designs. I myself owe to him not only the guiding star of my life, but also my first contact with the theoretical and practical aspects of rocketry and space travel. A place of honour should be reserved in the history of science and technology for his groundbreaking contributions in the field of astronautics. I might have to go.
Wow.
I might have to try and find this By Rocket Interplanetary Space book. It's got to be a classic, hasn't it?
It sounds like we should be talking about Herman as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should be doing a podcast on him.
Well, let's find out when his birthday is. I've got a feeling it's in June. I think I actually looked this up last night while doing a bit of research. I hope it's on the same day as or in the same week at least, and then we could have a double one, but it wasn't.
That would be nice. That's quite the plaudit. Wow. The guiding star of my life.
Yeah, so after becoming...
Is that what I am to you, Matt?
Yes, absolutely. It was your...
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's definitely what you think,
No,
right?
It was your book on how to be a great podcaster that really got me into podcasting.
By J.R. Franklin.
Yes. And of course, I presume I was a massive influence on you with my How to Play Air Guitar book.
You were, actually, and I don't think that there's a minute that goes past when I don't regret buying that book. Only kidding, Matt. I love that book. You're a superstar.
So, here's the dodgy bit. Unfortunately, von Braun had a membership number of 5,738,692 of the Nazi Party.
Yeah, and not the kind of membership that you want to shout about.
No,
really,
and he kind of got caught out lying about exactly when he joined the Nazi Party and under what conditions. But to give the man a break, I think it must be very difficult if you're proud of your country and your country gets swept up by this totalitarianism and you kind of want to sort of go along with it and you think, well, if I don't go along with it, then my career's ruined and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we'll never know the true extent. Well, I mean, there's some interesting quotes here that I'll read out. We've got... the first one's not that great, in which he says that he fared relatively rather well under totalitarianism.
Yeah.
Now, that's not the best one. Moving swiftly on, it gets slightly better. Yet he also wrote that, to us, Hitler was still a pompous fool with a Charlie Chaplin moustache, and that he perceived him as another Napoleon, who was wholly without scruples, a godless man who thought himself the only god. So I think there was definitely some contempt there. So, I mean, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was at this point that von Braun and his fellow German scientists had really got properly into following Goddard. And they started building what was then called the Aggregate A series of rockets. And Goddard himself... von Braun actually sort of mentioned Goddard's work. He says his rockets may have been rather crude by present-day standards, but they blazed the trail and incorporated many features used in our most modern rockets and space vehicles. So von Braun, was a massive fan of Goddard. So Goddard, there was a lot of information going from the States to Germany at the time.
Right.
And Goddard, after managing to sort of get a V2... These are Aggregate A series rockets. By the time they built the A4, it was renamed the V2, and we'll get onto that in a minute, obviously. So, Goddard managed to get his hands on a V2 via the British, and he confirmed that a lot of his work had kind of found its way into these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what's incredible, I feel slightly connected to this, is that my dad, when he was living in Kent, remembers V2 rockets going over the top of Kent on their way to London, obviously. He actually heard them. He actually heard these things going over. And
That's crazy.
So, it's really not that long ago, these things.
No, and it really isn't. It definitely isn't.
So he started firing the V2s at England, and he says, I have a very deep and sincere regret for the victims of the V2 rockets. but there were victims on both sides. A war is a war, and when my country is at war, my duty is to help win that war. Yeah, not necessarily there. Von
Again,
Braun.
not sure about that one.
Yeah, so obviously Adolf Hitler was a massive fan of the A4, and he renamed it the Vengeance Weapon. And the Vengeance Weapon, obviously, the V2, or the Wirkungswaffe 2.
Nice.
Yeah, so it is obviously quite a nasty thing. And of course, the British really wanted to preempt these rockets because they knew they were big trouble, so they bombed the hell out of von Braun's facilities, and in Operation Hydra. And they did blow the place up, but they managed to re-salvage the factory quite quickly, and only a couple of the engineers were killed, including one of the engine designers, Walter Thiel.
Right.
This leads on to one of my two favourite quotes from the von Braun canon, and that is so they launched the V2 to England. It may have been the one that my dad heard. Imagine that. And,
could have been.
Von Braun said, "The rocket worked perfectly, except for landing on the wrong planet." Because obviously Von Braun was obsessed at this point by spaceflight and wanting to go to other planets, so using V2s to hit other places on the planet wasn't really his ideal. But
do you reckon we'll ever hear Elon say that quote?
No. But we'll get we will definitely we will definitely get echoes of Elon later on, for sure. So there was a film called I Aim at the Stars, which was a biopic of von Braun, and they used the paraphrase, "I aim at the stars, but sometimes I hit London."
Oh God Almighty! Yeah, I don't like that.
But
one.
it's kind
That's
of
ridiculous.
It's kind of funny, yet I suppose if you were
not that funny for the 3,000 that were killed.
No, and I should imagine some of them landed near where you are standing right now, Jamie.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
But what?
Tell me things get better, Matthew.
No, it really does get worse, because obviously the German Empire by this time had become absolutely hideous in its control of certain peoples and making them into slaves and treating them in the most in as history will say, one of the most inhumane regimes there's ever been. So, unfortunately, these slaves and everything did work for von Braun, so he was used to walking around, and his quote is this, he says, "It is hellish, my spontaneous reaction was to talk to one of the SS guards, only to be told an unmistakable harshness that I should mind my own business or find myself in the same striped fatigues. I realised that any attempt of reasoning on humane grounds would be utterly futile." So he's kind of... But remember, a lot of this he's saying it retrospectively, so I'm going to give him the benefit of charity here and say that he probably was very, very scared. And one of his colleagues did say, if he had done it, in my opinion, he would have been shot on the spot. And that's if von Braun had complained. Oof.
Yeah, you never know. And you wonder how many more people were like that just had to say these things, because if they didn't, there was going to be death waiting for them.
Absolutely.
Horrible.
I think the most interesting part of the story is this next section where basically Germany have started to lose the war, the kind of falling down period of the war. And von Braun decided that he wanted to go with the Americans rather than the Soviets because they were a God-fearing nation. So it was very much to do with the fact that he wanted to surrender to Christians. So he'd been ordered to relocate to central Germany, and he thought that would be the best bet to defect to the Americans. So so von Braun himself fabricated documents and transported 500 of his affiliates to the central German area. But he was really, really fearful that the SS, if they even had a sniff that they were going to get captured, would destroy all the documents and would kill all of von Braun and all his people. They knew that they would just be executed because the Germans wouldn't want all this information falling into the wrong hands. So he hid a load of the blueprints in mine shafts in the mountains, which is quite And then weirdly, he was in some kind of weird car crash where he couldn't be bothered to get his arm set properly, and he was in such a rush to go somewhere else that he had to go back to hospital to have his arm re-broken and realigned.
Oh God!
Ow! And I think he was still in. He's still in a plaster cast when he was actually eventually able to surrender to the Americans. But it was his brother Magnus who was the first person to see an American private on a motorbike and ran out and said, "My name is Magnus von Braun. My brother invented the V2. We want to surrender." And of course, they were super prize assets. These are the ones that everyone wants to get.
Absolutely, yeah.
Here's a really genius bit of this story: is that he was held in a place called the Dustbin,
right?
Which was where they kept a lot of the kind of Third Reich. All the kind of experts, all these fantastic minds from the Third Reich, from the economy, science, technology, and they were all being debriefed in the Dustbin by the US and British intelligence officials. Right. And the US had really got von Braun tightly on lockdown with their Operation Overcast and Operation Paperclip.
Nice.
But there's some evidence that British intelligence managed to get to him and interrogate him over a certain section of his work.
Okay.
And amongst the people interrogating him at the time was L.S. Snell, who went on to design for Rolls-Royce and is the inventor of the Concorde's engines.
Wow, that's not rubbish,
who
is it?
knows? No, so who knows how far-reaching von Braun's kind of work at Nazi Germany is? Because, as we should see when we go on, it's unbelievable how much he achieves.
I wonder what would have happened had they bombed his factory and he actually died in the attack. I wonder how far that would have gone, or rather, how much it would have stopped the advancement of what we know.
Well, I just don't know, but I mean, a lot of these things, obviously, like Charles Darwin. If Charles Darwin hadn't come up with the theory of evolution, it wouldn't have been long till someone else would have done it.
Yeah, I just wonder how longer it would have been. Interesting.
Well, yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? But I think obviously von Braun was a very, very charismatic man who was pushing this whole thing forward. So the Americans created loads of false employment histories so that they could expunge his Nazi Party kind of connection, which I think was known as bleaching.
Right. Okay.
So it was bleaching their Nazism, and so he was cleared to work in the United States. Very much once this was found out, to the chagrin of Albert Einstein.
Okay.
Who was not a fan.
No, so he wasn't a fan of the US taking him in.
Yeah, I don't think he was a fan of von Braun either.
I wouldn't have thought he would be.
Yeah, as a Jewish German, he was. Yeah, it's not great, is it?
No.
So I think von Braun had a bit of a culture shock by the time he got to America, because he sort of arrived there. No one liked him very much. Everyone bossed him around. He had superiors who were nowhere near as clever as he was, or had anywhere near the amount of power that he had, so who were telling him what to do, and he was kind of shoved away, and no one was really that interested in his work. But he got on with his work, and he designed the Redstone rockets, which were the first to be used for nuclear missile tests. So he actually witnessed those. So he's the first person ever to witness a nuclear missile.
And then the Jupiter C.
Yeah, and the Jupiter C that launched America's first satellite. Mm-hmm. And obviously that's the start of the American space program. So
there we go.
Pretty big. But it was, of course, his rival in Russia, Sergei Korolev, and his team of scientists and engineers that had ploughed ahead and beat him to the first satellite with Sputnik program. Obviously, that was not good. That was not good for von Braun's ego, and he was having a bit of a tough time because the press were being a bit horrible to him and were really dwelling on his slave labour that had been used to build his V2 rockets. Yeah, not a popular geezer at the time.
No, that's quite a reputation to shake off.
But eventually, when he started talking about human spaceflight. So, 1950s, there was a newspaper article in the Huntsville Times saying, Dr. von Braun says rocket flights possible to moon. So, and this came on the back of a massive wave of publicity thanks to the films Destination Moon and Rocket Ship XM.
See, it's exciting now when we hear these stories, but imagine then when it hadn't happened. Imagine that.
No. I know. Well, it's a bit like, I suppose, the excitement we feel about Elon Musk's story drink going to Mars.
Absolutely, but even more because they hadn't. This was the first time that they'd done anything like this.
Yeah, no.
I mean, they would have
absolutely.
thought. They must have thought in 1950s America. They must have thought that anything was possible. You know, post-war, people talking about us leaving the Earth to go to the moon. I mean. Yeah, can you imagine how exciting that would have been?
So exciting, and he then sort of really pushed this excitement home because there was a magazine called Collier's, which is a really, really famous magazine that was beautifully illustrated, and they ran a series called "Man Will Conquer Space Soon."
Right. And
it was all basically detailing von Braun's plans for manned spaceflight. And then this was turned into the Disney series that you can watch on YouTube. And George showed it me about 6 months ago, and I think I sent it over to you, and it's just absolutely brilliant.
Great.
It's so good. Because von Braun, you can see how charismatic he is. He's kind of like a bit weird. But yeah, the kind of the space suit that looks like an ice cream cone, and the way that it all, but all the ideas are there, and you can see it's so ahead of its time. And he's got the space station there that was obviously a massive influence on films like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Absolutely.
And had everything in there. It had, it spanned to provide artificial gravity, which had come from an idea from Herman Pochunik's book, The Problems of Space Travel. So that's another book I really would like to have
I'd like to read that, yeah.
So von Braun envisaged 3 exhibitions to very large-scale undertakings with a total of 50 astronauts travelling in 3 huge spacecraft driven by a rectangular array of 30 rocket engines. So this really reminds me of Elon Musk's trip to Mars, I have to say. It has that kind of feel of, oh my God, this is such an enormous undertaking.
Yeah.
But it's possible.
But just possible, and the confidence of them to say, this is what's going to happen, and here's how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Not just some crazy loon who's like, yeah, we're going to go to the moon.
Yeah, no, this is all the details had been worked out.
Hey, he's got the science to back it up.
Science to back it up, and it was all about putting a base on the moon, which is what everyone is talking about right now. But he also had the massive Elon Musk moment where he unveiled his The Mars project in 1952. I mean, Musk is what? I mean, that's like 70 years later.
Yeah, yeah.
And yet, really, actually, von Braun could have done it had Nixon instead of going with the space shuttle, had carried on with Saturn. Perhaps we just don't know.
We'll never know.
So von Braun did also write a little science fiction novel that he kind of put out in little portions in magazines because no publisher wanted to publish the book. So I can't imagine it's very, very good. But it was eventually printed in full in December 2006.
Okay.
So that took about 50 years to get published. So I can't imagine it's that great.
And it was titled Project Mars.
Project Mars.
A technical tale.
A technical tale.
That's the sequel.
Yeah, that's like a robot dog as a technical tale.
Oh, that's true. Good.
Yeah,
good.
Thanks. So in his book as well, von Braun anticipated the medical phenomena of being space sick.
Ooh.
Yeah, which we've had on the programme before, and I always forget to look up space sickness.
Yeah, we have spoken about that, but not in too much detail.
So if anyone wants to come on the show and talk about space sickness, please do.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, makes me feel giddy just thinking about it, actually.
Do you know, we haven't even talked about NASA yet.
What?
So what day was NASA formed?
Oh, I'm just going to pluck a date out of the air. July 29th, 58.
Yep, that's about right. And how many Redstone rockets do you think they'd fired at that point?
Oh, another guess, but is it 50?
Yeah, it was 50. Well, actually, it was 49 because it was 50 the day after it was established. You knew that.
Yeah, of course I did. You know.
Have you ever heard about the famous von Braun 4-inch flight?
The infamous 4-inch flight.
The 4-inch flight, yeah. It's quite good, this one. He built a Mercury Redstone rocket. Obviously, Mercury being the rockets that took people like John Glenn up. And Alan Shepard, of course.
Yeah.
And it sort of launched and then went 4 inches up in the air and then cut out.
Yeah.
And it was because one of the workers had got a power plug and he thought, it doesn't really fit properly, so he filed it down a little bit.
Oh my
So the
goodness.
lengths were slightly different. And the computer just thought, it's a cut-off signal, and cut off the engine.
Right, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Ooh.
And I think this wasn't good news either, because it actually there's a knock-on effect here, because then von Braun really, really wanted to make sure that the Redstone rocket was man-rated. So he absolutely insisted that they did another launch with a boilerplate capsule. And for those that don't know, a boilerplate capsule is a capsule exactly the same as a normal capsule that you'd carry humans in, except it's had all the sort of all the expensive life support stuff and all that removed. But for all intents and purposes, it's exactly the same.
Okay.
So they sent up this boilerplate capsule and the flight was absolutely perfect. But it meant that the Soviet Union again beat von Braun and put Yuri Gagarin up into space.
They did.
Before Alan Shepard was able to go up on the Mercury Redstone.
They must have been gutted. They must have been gutted.
Well, yeah, and it was all down to von Braun's stubbornness that he wanted to man-rate this rocket.
That's what happens, people.
Yeah, whereas the Russians just went with dogs.
Good work, Russia.
Yep, dog's all right. Right, in you go, Yuri.
Yeah.
Why are you looking so scared? Well, I can't work it out.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So then of course he started on his Project Majeur, which of course was the Apollo.
Of course.
And they started developing the Saturn rockets. And one of the things that he wanted to do was, based on his concept from which we talked about earlier from the Collier's collection, was that it would be an Earth orbit rendezvous that would take the spacecraft off to the moon. But he converted to a lunar orbit rendezvous, which was a BIS idea, by the way. And that was the one they eventually went with, and that was what they used to get to the moon. So
was he the first person to think about having a 3-stage rocket?
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, I think that actually may even be Goddard.
Really?
Yeah, actually, we had this on I think it may be our 3rd episode, where we had Jerry Stone talking about who came up with the idea of staging.
Maybe I need to go back and listen to podcast 3.
Yeah, actually, I don't know who did invent staging. Maybe in the course of this podcast, I can look it up.
If anyone knows, then tweet us in. We'll find out, but tweet us in.
So so what happened on July 16, 1969?
I can tell you what happened, Matt. It was one small step for a man.
Yeah.
One giant leap for mankind.
Wow. It was only Neil Armstrong jumping on the moon.
A legend.
I hope his legs don't break.
Well, Matt, I don't even think they went, because...
no, don't do it. Don't do it, Jamie.
I'm only kidding everyone, of course. Of course.
He really, really talked about how Saturn V was going to take people to Mars in the 1980s.
Yeah.
But, of course, one of the horrible things is once man had been to the moon, then public enthusiasm for the whole Apollo mission instantly waned. It's like, yep, been there, done it.
Been there, done that.
It's kind of American tourist syndrome of you go somewhere and you just capture it and that's it really.
Go there, take a photo, play a bit of golf.
Actually, it's not just Americans. It's most modern humans do.
It is, isn't it? It's gutting because if they just drove on in the same tenacity that they had to go to the moon, we'd probably be on Mars. Yeah.
That's quite sad, isn't it? And then in 1973, the poor old boy was diagnosed with kidney cancer.
Yeah,
and even though he was awarded the National Medal of Science in 1975, he was unable to attend the White House ceremony in 1977, and then died in 1977 on June the 16th at the age of 65.
Yeah, it's not a great age, but still, what a life you fit into it.
Oh yeah, and if we should have a quick delve into how he led his personal life. His personal life is quite funny because he was very much known as a ladies' man, and would wander around Berlin with two girlfriends at once. And
what a player!
He was a proper player, and he was engaged to a couple of people, and he had lots of affairs with all the women in the computer pool at the research facilities and stuff.
Right.
But eventually he married his first cousin, Maria Louise von Giestorp.
Oh, goodness, okay.
Yeah, and they had 3 children. Well, Darwin married his first cousin as well.
Yeah, it's but he was just trying to see if they actually had webbed feet for his books.
Oh, no. See, did you know that if you marry your cousin and have children with them, it's as risky as having children in your 30s. So the chances of any kind of genetic kind of failure is only the same as having babies late in life.
Oh, it's not that bad then?
No. It was only the Victorians that made having children with your cousins a bit of a taboo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not. Still kind of strange.
It only feels strange to us, Jamie. It's purely a hang-up of Victorian England.
Matt, are you married to your cousin?
No.
Okay. Not dissing anyone who is. I just find it a little odd. Sorry.
So let's do some quick facts.
Yeah.
How many honorary doctorates has von Braun got?
12, isn't it?
12. He's a doctor 12 times. Doctor. Can you hear me?
Can't you see I'm von Braun, von Braun?
Doctor, can't you see I'm von Braun? But yeah, that's ace. We should start the podcast with that.
Okay, we'll do that at the end.
Right, nice. Several German cities have small towns and streets and everything named after him.
Right.
So yeah. Of course, one of my favourite ever film characters ever, Doctor Strangelove.
Oh, so good. Such a good film.
More than a reminiscence of von Braun in it.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a von Braun crater on the moon.
Whoa.
And one of my favourite books, have you ever read Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon?
I haven't, but I'd like to.
It's massive. It's a bit annoying because it's a huge book, but it is genius. And it starts off with a von Braun quote, which is, "Nature does not know extinction. All it knows is transformation. Everything science has taught me and continues to teach me strengthens my belief in the continuity of our spiritual existence after death."
That's a good quote.
It is a good quote. I definitely differ from von Braun on this particular issue, though.
Yes.
But and one of my friends, Ian Farragher, who's in a prog rock band called Quantum Pig.
Quantum Pig. Wow.
Yeah, he just started a prog rock band called Quantum Pig.
I want to endorse that band.
Yeah, one of his favourite bands is a band called Husker Du.
Oh, I know great band.
Yeah, amazing band.
Bob Mould.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Bob Mould, who I saw with Ian in Camden once.
And Bob Mould also went on after Husker Du to do one of my favourite bands called Sugar.
Oh,
and
yeah,
one of my favourite albums, Copper Blue. Yeah.
Copper Blue, amazing.
Well, Hooks for Days.
Yeah, but that is Ian's favourite album.
Oh, wow. Go on, Ian.
Grant Hart of Husker Du went on to form a rock group called Nova Mob, and they did a rock opera that had von Braun featured throughout.
Blimey.
And there's even a song called Wernher von Braun in that.
Well, I hope that's recorded somewhere on vinyl, because I want it.
I'm totally seeking it out on Spotify. So yeah, von Braun, born today, 105 years ago.
There we go.
Wow.
What an incredible life, as you say.
What an amazing life.
Good and bad, but wow,
happy,
what a life.
Happy birthday, Von Braun, and
happy birthday, Von Braun.
the G-Shock.
Happy birthday, the G-Man.
The G-Man.
G-Dog.
And you have to check out George's Interstellar podcast. I was actually amazed how...
I've seen all of the videos, and I urge people to go and check them out. Whilst we obviously don't want you to stray...
Yeah. Well, it's not even a
back.
podcast. It's not even a podcast. It's a YouTube channel, he explains how rocket engines work. He explains how jet engines work. But his latest one about why the Earth isn't flat is actually brilliant.
It's so
I
good.
love it.
And I, like a couple of your friends, learned stuff that we didn't know.
Yeah.
And how old is George?
He's 13 today.
13 today. I say lucky 13. Good work, George.
So,
keep it up. Keep debunking, please.
Oh, yes. Debunk away.
Yeah.
So, what's happened in the news this week, Jamie?
Well, the first headline that grabs us is the internationally backed military satellite successfully launched atop Delta IV.
So, Delta IV went up with a wideband global SATCOM satellite, number 9.
Number 9.
Do you know how much this thing cost?
$424 million.
They're expensive, aren't they, satellites?
Really expensive, yeah.
Yeah, but that's gone up, and that was successful. So Delta IV.
Matt, what's happening in light sail world?
Light sail world. So yes, Harriet's bunch, our old friend Harriet, and the Planetary Society. They have quite. I think light sail now is kind of being built and it's finished, and so now all they're waiting for it is a shipping out date to be put with its Prox 1 spacecraft that's going to go up on a Falcon Heavy.
Well, look forward to that.
See. Yeah. So Falcon Heavy by Elon Musk. Drink. Hopefully we'll see Falcon Heavy fly this year, and it's on the second flight of Falcon Heavy that we'll see light sail go up.
So we have a quote here from Bruce Betts, the mission program manager. We could ship it now if we needed to and feel good about it, but because we have the time, there are some minor issues identified that we need to look into and additional tests that we want to run. So fair play.
So they're just tinkering.
Good.
They're just tinkering with it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a tinker.
No. So did you see the pictures that Curiosity took of its own wheels the other day?
I did. Amazing.
So it's got a couple of bits missing.
Yeah.
So these wheels are starting to run out now. So
we think they need some new alloys.
Can you believe it's been trundling around since 2012?
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
I know, it's almost 5 years ago since that Hour of Doom or whatever it was called.
And not one MOT test, so I think it's done all right.
When you buy a new car, when do you have to put it in for an MOT? It's not every year, is it?
For the first year, I think you get a waiver, don't you? And then every year after that.
Oh, is it? So you only get 2 years?
I say that. Yes. I don't know for sure, but I think that's right.
Yeah, we don't need callers to come in with answers on that one because it's not about space.
Exactly, and you know, if you don't prove me right, then I'll be upset. So
yeah, I guess our friends over at We Martians podcast will be able to answer the question about Curiosity better than anyone else.
I think they probably will, yes.
So, listen to that podcast if you get a chance. And,
absolutely, check it out.
So how many miles has it gone? 10 miles. That's it. 10 miles.
10?
And it's completely knackered its wheels out.
Oh, well, you know.
But
it's done all right, isn't it?
Project scientist Ashwin Vesavada did say this is an expected part of the life cycle of the wheels, and at this point does not change our current science plans or diminish our chances of studying key transitions in mineralogy higher on Mount Sharp.
Mount Sharp. That is some mount.
Oh yeah. Our friends over at the Rosetta mission have had a bit of a result.
Go on.
So, a 100-metre cliff on Comet 67P has been caught by Rosetta's camera collapsing.
Okay.
Literally exposing the inner core of the well, not the inner core, but new fresh material on the comet.
Fresh outer. Nice.
Yeah.
Where can people see these pics?
On the ESA website. So obviously, European Space Agency website. Anything about Rosetta, there's just hundreds and hundreds of pictures. And again, this just goes to show that the Rosetta science will just carry on for years and years, and probably another decade of important science will come out of the Rosetta mission.
Talking of important science, Matt, tell me what President Trump is up to.
There's quite a funny clip of Trump signing in the NASA funding bill.
Yeah,
they make a few jokes between them, but essentially, it's carry on as you are kind of thing.
Hasn't he given them an extra 19 billion in the budget?
Yeah, but I think that's. I think even then that is a slight decrease. But it's essentially where it always was. And Elon Musk went on to tweet pretty much straight away, "This changes nothing."
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was extra money that they had. Fair enough.
Yeah, and there was a worrying bit where Trump, someone said, "Oh, you can become the father of interplanetary highway system because of the large rocket that NASA's building." And the president sort of looked round and said, "Well, that sounds exciting." That's the worst impression I've ever done.
I like it. Roll with it.
No, I'm not going to roll with it. Well, that sounds exciting, Trump countered. But first we want to fix our highways. We're going to fix our highways.
Right, okay.
Great.
I can just see the capital letters.
Anyone ready for a drink?
I think we all are.
So, SpaceX.
Yes.
Might, in the next week, refly a flown booster.
Say what?
I mean, say what? I hope this is just before or just after the next podcast, so we can really
he's
talk
saying
about
that it could come as soon as March 29th.
Yeah, March 29, which is, what's that, in 6 days' time?
6 days.
So, yeah, it's going to be round about the next podcast. So, Tuesday, next Wednesday, Thursday. So, this is really exciting. And this kind of is almost it could almost be seen as the start of something, the start of reusable rocketry.
So how many have they done now? Is this the 6th one?
Well, no. This will be the first time that a booster has gone up. That's been used before.
I thought you were talking about as in rockets being landed.
No. No, he's using one of the ones that has been landed.
Right.
So it's the one that landed back on the drone ship in last April.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's ridiculous.
That really is.
So
good luck, SpaceX.
Yeah, so that's 6. They have landed 6 rockets on land and sea.
Right.
And so now they're going to try and fly one of the 6 that's crowding up the warehouse.
Yeah, they need to get some of them out. Come on.
So between now and the next podcast, we should have an Ariane 5 launch.
Yeah.
And an Atlas 5 launch.
Well, that's both good news.
Not much else to report, Jamie. So I think we're done. I think we're done for the week.
Done. Well, thank you guys once again for listening, and we are loving your emails and your support. Please check out our blog on Tumblr, and definitely check out the Planetary Society and also the podcast Matt just mentioned. Matt, do you want to mention that podcast again?
We Martians.
Check it out. Martians. Check it out.
And great podcast. Some amazing bits of information on that. And of course, obviously, don't forget to look out for events that are happening at the British Interplanetary Society. There's actually one tonight that I've been unable to go to because it's George's birthday.
Ah, there we go. Well, you enjoy the cake, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye. Bye.